I'm back. So, it's been a really long weekend, a really tiring weekend, but we're back to making videos, and you know what? Let's take a short break from Vanguard and we'll see what other games Bushiroad has to offer. So, right now, of course, the latest craze is Palworld. We're gonna play Palworld at locals today. We're gonna see how it goes and what this new game is actually all about. We're gonna meet some new people hopefully, and most importantly, enjoy the game while having a really great time. So this is the first two locals for Palworld card game. Okay, so we made the trip and here we are. I mean, we're at the car shop already, but I'm just gonna do a very quick segment before I head into the store. So we are at Kitchener Complex now. So to those players that are in Singapore, you will know that this is actually the home of Agora Hobby. And to our overseas players, Agora Hobby is one of the bigger card stores in Singapore. They hold like multiple titles, as you can see from that little cutscene that I showed earlier. And yeah, I mean, we're just gonna be here, have some fun. And you know what? Let's head into the store, get some supplies, and sleeve up our decks real quick. Okay, Sean, finally, the first Agora event for Palworld.
Yeah.
Actually quite kick, I say real. Like, I didn't expect so many people to actually come.
Same, man.
Yeah, I mean, you actually factor in for what, 16 people, right?
Only 16 people only.
Yeah, but like how many turned out today? I think like more than 20.
26? 26.
Do you even have enough promos to give out? Okay, but either way, there's extra things to be won, right? So I believe Sean actually factored in like a booster box or lucky draw. And I gave out like one packet of sleeves as well for people to actually get started on their Palworld journey. So the round 1 pairings are out. We're gonna see how it goes. And hopefully I can actually win some people in the event, because honestly I suck at the game. But again, we'll see how it goes, and I'll catch back with you guys in a bit. Alright, game 1. So, the first official voiceover from the Sunny Kisu channel about Palworld. So, I'm running a very simple blue-green strategy, right, that really uses the two best cards for the respective colors, in my personal opinion at least. It's Leylin and Chillet. So, I'm still relatively new to Palworld, so apologies if I, say the wrong names for the units and whatever. So my opponent is playing like a red aggro kind of control strategy with Fox Sparks, and you're gonna see a lot of fireworks happening towards the end when he starts deploying his gears out on the field. So a relatively slow start for me. That's pretty much like the idea of the game for my deck. I don't mind taking damage early. I just want to protect my board state. So here we go with Chillet coming in. So Chillet allows me to flip a card. If it's a dragon on the top of it, I get to call it out if it's the 8 cost or less. So I went ahead and tried to sort of contest for the board and go for actually one of the Fox Sparks that was rested. But he follows up with 2 handguns to kill my Chillet, who knew a dragon to be taken down by 2 bullets, and really quickly another Fox Spark. So that's the 3rd Fox Spark that he has. So again, with me farming hand size, I went ahead and drew 3 cards with Pal's Gear, and I passed the turn dead. So really big hand size on my end with 3 active souls. So the 3 active souls would typically indicate that I have some form of interaction for my opponent's attacks. So it can be like an interrupt, which is kind of like a PG for Vanguard standards, or any other spells that might, kill and whatever. So he deployed, I think, some 5-cost Infernogram or something like that. That is just a huge vanilla if I'm not mistaken. So Chillet going into a Alphadran, and again I'm contesting for the board. So what does that mean? I basically want to ensure that my board state is always stronger than his by constantly removing cards on his board. So not necessarily going in for the life. The reason for this is because like Lucky Pals are a thing, so that's essentially like a huge trigger, right? Or in WS, it's kind of like a cancel mechanic. So if I clear the board, I maintain like a very strong board state. I can continuously like swing for the life. So that's pretty much the idea that I had moving into this. And he went for another handgun to damage one of my pals, and he went for a Fire Breath, which actually killed the Chillet. I'm not sure if that's the name of the card, but yeah, so triple handgun to buff up the Fox Sparks, beefing it up to I think 800, but interrupted by Dino Bloom. So again, Chillet once again. That's my third Chillet if I'm not mistaken. Really good card. So Alphadran going in to destroy the Fox Sparks and using Victor's strategy to top 5 for a card. So I don't have to show my opponent, which is really good. And going in for the first damage from my end with the Chillet swinging for 2. So here we go with my opponent's turn. You can notice that my hand is ginormous compared to my opponent's small hand size, right? So that's really like the advantage that blue and green has, or blue as a color with a lot of card draw. So he goes ahead and drops a 8 cost, so it's one of the most powerful cards in my opinion, where you can like top X cards of your deck to play out a gear. So here we have one of my most hated cards that is actually like a hard counter to my deck, almost a hard counter to my deck. The Pump Shotgun. So what does that do? Essentially on the board it gets to rain 1200 damage to each of my pals. So most of the dragons are like, at least the board swarming dragons are like 900 and below, so that pretty much is a board wipe for 7 cost, or in this case 8 cost. So here we go lightly into a chip, my 4th Chillet actually, into a Reaxosaurus. So this is really like a huge tempo play on my end. So you can see my opponent actually like with his small hand size, actually just kind of hoping for a Lucky Pal to save him. So I have to remind my opponent that you know, once you get a Lucky Pal, everything is cancelled, no more milling is needed. And yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? So Palworld is really new. In fact, all of us are as new as the other guy next to us. So we're actually just having fun trying to learn the rules and helping each other sort of understand the game a little bit more. And you know, it was really heartwarming to actually know that a lot of the players are actually new to trading card games in general. They just said that, hey, you know, we really like Palworld, so here we are, wanted to try something physical for a change, right? And yeah, so here we have my opponent dropping in another board, and he was actually contemplating whether he wanted to save things up for guards, but I was like, you know what, you should just swing because I have ways to bounce your units and things like that in the form of Victor strategy. So Bushi being a Lucky Pal and another Lucky Pal. So here we have Chillet going in for one more swing, and again, me with my 10 souls up, I can pretty much establish another board, or you know, I have so much room to play with over here. So here we go with an Alphadran and another Alphadran to push in for 4 damage. I believe these my opponent to like what, 1 or 2 life at this point. So if he has no way to clear my board state now, he's pretty much doomed. And yeah, so with my hand of like all the interrupts in the world and my life is still at 3, I pretty much have like enough room to cover the entire advantage of this current game. So my opponent fought really long and hard, but the gears on his end weren't able to take down the entire board swarming. So there we go with the start of my turn. So yep, that's it. That's the last damage right there. So game 2 start, I'm actually up against my friend Jeff. You know, I've known Jeff for a number of years now and known him from other card games, right? So really experienced player in other card games. So I'm so delighted that, you know, old friends are coming back to play Palworld with, you know, it's a fresh start. Everybody has an equal chance. Really great to see friends coming in. So he's actually playing a green-purple renderation of Reanimator. So Reanimator, if you're unaware, it's sort of like a playstyle like Grand Blue, where you bring things back from your graveyard. So your cards have like multiple uses to them. So you can see that I'm reading his card, right? And again, we're all equally new, so I'm still trying to figure out all of the cards as I go along. So here we have him playing one of the most irritating cards that purple actually has. This is the trial deck card. I believe his name is like some lizard thing. But yeah, so basically when it dies, it makes me discard 1. So it's really irritating, especially when comboed with the correct cards to make me discard 2, i.e. Shadow Peak. So here we have the namesake of Jeff's deck, Catrus, right? So Catrus, the sorceress or something like that, is pretty much a pal that allows you to kill your own pals to buff itself. So you see that he killed his lizard to buff Catrus up to 1.9k, trying to kill my Chillet at 900. So yeah, really irritating. And here we see me calling another Chillet, hoping to get another board state, but it's okay. Chillet is still a +1. He's doing his best. I love Chillet so much, man, honestly. So yeah, moving on to Jeff's turn. I believe this is the turn where he will start to make some reanimated plays, or at least try to stabilize his board state, because it's 2 of mine to 1 of his, and green purple is not really known as a color to board wipe as quick as red, right? So they do remove cards from their opponent's board, but through really specific ways, like example Hell Zephyr or Shadow Beak, right? So he called a Lylene, calling out a Gumos. So Gumos is a really interesting card that allows you to attack standing pals due to the keyword assault. So if you are unaware, you cannot actually attack standing pals unless they have the specific keyword. So here we go with my own Lylene. I believe I called down an Effie Dren here. Yep, there we go. So at this point, Jeff's life total was actually really low because I didn't really have to contest the board as compared to the first game. So here we go with the Chillet second swing, and that was game. So here we go with game 3, you know, up against one of my absolute favorite decks of the day. It was actually Vanguard, or rather Elizabeth, whatever you want to call it. So initially, I think I saw my opponent's deck when I was like walking around trying to take some footage, right? And I noticed that, hey, wow, this guy is actually playing like one of the decks that I was considering to build. So Elizabeth and Vanguard, right? So it's kind of like a bunch of bees swarming around, farming advantage, you know, the working bees and the queen bee. Absolutely in love with the flavor that this deck has. So queen bee, you know, the rule of the purpose of the queen bee is just to spawn out all the little bees, right? And the little bees will work to protect the queen and, you know, farm advantage, farm for food. So that's where green really stands out, right, as a color that plays with a lot of structures, like farming structures specifically, literally farming, and, you know, gaining that ingredients counter right there. You see that green counter. So here we have the first renderation of Elizabeth. So this is the queen bee that everybody talks about. So Elizabeth going in for 2 damage. No idea why I got it. I should have taken it, honestly. You know, we're still all trying to figure out the game, so it's completely fine. So here we go, 5, I believe that is Chillet. There we go, Chillet into Lylene. Obviously, Lylene is not a dragon, so we can't call it. So Chillet going in to attempt to kill the Elizabeth, but interrupted by, I believe his name is Wombo10 or something like that. So here we have him setting up a wrench, and the first Vanguard is here. So Vanguard, on play, I believe you get to get some ingredients, or when you put it into structures or what. I'm still not really familiar with this game, unfortunately. I promise the next video would be better, but yeah. So the thing with Elizabeth is you get to scry the top card of your deck, and if it is a Vanguard, you get to call it out for 1 cost. So typically Vanguards cost 3, but Elizabeth provides a little bit of a discount for that. So moving on to my turn, I believe this is the turn where I actually drop a Lylene. There we go, and Lylene into a reindeer. I'm sorry guys, I'm still unfamiliar with the names of all these pals, but I promise you I will learn to the best of my abilities. So again, I called an interrupt because I told myself, you know, I have to contest for the board state, right? So clearing his board is always important, especially getting rid of the Elizabeth. So why I didn't kill the Elizabeth immediately, because Elizabeth actually buffs herself for every Vanguard available. So every Vanguard available would actually buff Elizabeth by 300 power. So Elizabeth was 1000 at that point, and the biggest pal of my board was actually 900. So here we see the swarming coming in already, and Elizabeth is not once per turn, guys. So if you have 5 and you high roll, you can actually call like an entire board set of bees, or rather 4, because Elizabeth has to be on the board. So in this game, you are not able to actually call number 6 and try to replace 1 to 5. The number 6 pal actually goes into the graveyard. So here we have me using Victor Strategy to get a card, and I have no idea what I wanted to see, maybe another interrupt, but here we go with a Lylene coming in with probably Elfidran Aqua, yep, the Way of the Water. So drawing 2 and stacking 1 card on top. And yeah, so coming in again after winning a contested board state, it's just a light push. So you might be noticing like my opponent printing his cards is completely okay, you know, casuals, and there aren't much cards available compared to other countries. I'm not sure. Let me know what the Palworld situation is like in your country in the comment section below. But I believe we are getting a second wave of Palworld cards really soon, so please do stop by Agora Hobby or order your cards from agorahobby.com. So we have opponent using Lylene right here, trying to top 5 maybe. Yep, here we go, another Elizabeth. So I believe that day we were all just like, another B. Oh my gosh, the energy was so high that day, and I was absolutely in love with the community and, you know, just having fun flipping cards together. So this was actually a really back and forth game. Like, we were just trying to stabilize our board state, right? So Elizabeth coming in with another B guard. So just like that, he got his entire board state filled once again. So me with my 5 cards, I was just swinging in. His hand was really small. Unfortunately, the green caveat is small hand size. So here we go, and I believe this turn was game. Alright, so last round of Swiss against my testing buddy Vishal. So Vishal, the first winner of the Shacho Cup in Singapore, as you can see from his playmat signed by Kidani himself. So I lost the die roll and he chose to go second, which is a very good move on his end because it works on his deck's curve, as well as he knows that my deck wants to go second. So yeah, anyway, he's playing his own original brew of a red-purple control. And I started off slow again, you know, just having a Antique Mirror following up with an Elfidran. So you might be wondering, instead of drawing, why did I come up with the Elfidran? That's because, again, I want to win in the board war. And I chose to swing the structure instead of the life because I know how destructive that structure can be. So structures are essentially things that will just keep on occurring you value the longer it stays on the board. So with 2 of my dragons facing him down, he just chose to drop a pump action shotgun to kill off both of my things. And yeah, so unfortunate on my end that the Chillet missed again, and I decided to farm a little bit more with Victor Strategy. So he follows up with a Suzaku, which is an on-play, basically kill anything. And yeah, so it deals 700, but Suzaku has an effect that says if any red source deals damage, it deals extra 200. So Chillet into Relaxosaurus, that's amazing. He follows up with a pump action shotgun, killing both of my creatures. And once again, moving on to my turn, I drop a Relaxosaurus to stun his pal and going in for 3 damage. So again, in this state, I just want to try to control the board as much as possible to try and move the game's tempo to my end. But he follows up with a single shot rifle, which again removes my Relaxosaurus. Really, really irritating. But this is again the way that red actually handles board states, right? So red is a very aggressive color, so again Chillet failing, but I did add a interrupt into my hand. So he follows up with a Suzaku, and oh my gosh, I was already struggling at this point. At this current state of the game, no board state, I can only do an Antique Curtain, which I usually like to use only to bounce blockers to close out the game, but I had just had to delay it a little bit by bouncing his creatures back, and I was actually just forced to summon a Wombo to sort of try and push for damage, and hopefully that the Suzaku will die. He follows up with a Kitsune to kill my pal, and my Lylene goes into the drop zone with the graveyard. It's horrible, man. This is such a back and forth game. It's so horrible for me to actually try to stabilize in this game. But I follow up with an Antique Curtain, bouncing both of the red cards back to hand, which is not really a good play, but it is the only thing I can do because the Suzaku was there as a blocker. So I had to call and interrupt. He follows up with a Suzaku again along with his 3-cost pal, and I can do nothing but draw cards at this point. So tapping more for Elfidran Aqua in the hopes to sort of get something, passing to try and use Aqua as a blocker, but he has a single shot rifle again. So you can see Vishal strategically destroying my board bit by bit, and at this point I was running out of pals, so it was a really horrible spot to be in. But again, this game was relatively back and forth, so going in with Aqua again for 2 damage, and he does interrupt, so it's unfortunate. I have to drop a Dino Blossom, which is an interrupt, to try and push for damage and try to close out the game, because you can see that he is at 1 life. But again, Vishal is obviously a really experienced player in all of the card games that he plays. So Relaxosaurus, me going in hoping to get a kill, or at least try and hope that he will crash a Suzaku, but obviously he has the 3-cost Pal right there. So Relaxosaurus takes that down and I couldn't close out the game. But again, as you can see from my hand, it's pretty much horrible. I have 3 active souls and I was just trying to survive at this point. And as you can see, this is really in shambles. He drops a Astagon, which is an absolute powerhouse of a card. So there we go, Astagon going in for 3 damage. At this point I was thinking, yep, this is pretty much game already. I had nothing much in my hand. I can probably drop a Leyline and things like that, but I was kind of saving it for the Aurora Guide to sort of get out of jail free, but I kind of had to just push for it, right? So Leyline moving on to the top 5 into an Elfidran, swinging for 2 damage, but obviously he has 2, so he's just going to block with Suzaku and kill my Elfidran. Meanwhile, the Leyline, he's just gonna be faced with a Fox interrupt, and he goes in for the kill at this point. So 3 pals, I have nothing much left, and oh man, this is such a horrible boss state to be in. So he has Excel strategy, and that restants his entire board depending on the number of gears that he has, and I tried my best to desperately survive, and I believe that was not a lucky pal, and that was game.
Okay, so as you can see, it's dark out right now, and yeah, I mean, it's been a long day, bro. It's been a really long day, but the Palworld tournament has ended. You would have seen my matches by far, and yeah, I mean, I went X1. I think you went for win. That's insane. And there were like what, 26 players for the first release tournament. Well, first locals, I would say. First local. Yeah.
Which is quite surprising, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. And like there were quite a variety of decks, honestly. Like some players were still new, still trying the game out, so they were like using trial decks, which is honestly fine. Like that's the beauty of this game, right? Like even if you're using trial deck, like the trial decks can win like full build decks. Like just now I saw, like I believe it was a blue trial deck beat like a purple Hell Zephyr turbo deck. It was quite insane. Yeah, they were at the back tables lah. So yeah. But it's completely fine. I mean, you were playing an original list as well, right, Michelle? So can you
my list will be in my Twitter lah. You can check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably like leave a pop-up of his like Twitter handle at the bottom. So again, if you have not subscribed already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. More Palworld content will definitely be coming. I'm really enjoying myself with this game. Thank you Agora Hobby for once again providing us the resources to create such videos. And you know what? We'll see you guys in the next 2 locals for Palworld. Until the next one, goodbye.